Hi, everybody. We are joined now by forward Nichelle Prince. Nichelle, thank you for taking some time with us today. Congratulations on the win and the goal. Team leading 5th goal. Can you walk us through that goal to start off?
Yeah, it was. I just saw that there was a lot of space behind, and obviously Maria is great at playing balls in behind and through. So just try to get on my bike and get in behind, and I saw that I had space, and yeah, I took it with my right, and scored the first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Reminder, everybody, if you have a question, please use the raise your hand function and we'll get you in. Nichelle, obviously a big game to come back from after last week's result. How important was it to get a win like this heading into the international break?
Yeah, so important, not just obviously for like the standings and to get back, in a good position in the standings, but just for our confidence in general. I think we needed to come out and remember who we are as a team and put in a good performance. And it wasn't easy, but it was a tough one. But I think we definitely needed that.
Awesome, thank you for that. Lou, go ahead.
Hey, Nichelle, Lou Rush from Fansided. Couple of things. One is, how are you guys able to stay so consistent from half to half and from game to game, whether it's home or away?
Yeah, I think we're just kind of focusing on ourselves right now and focusing on how we can individually be the best for our team and best for one another. And I think we're fighting for one another, and that's something that maybe we haven't always had in the past. You can see it on the field that even when people are tired, even when maybe things are tough on the field, we're fighting for one another, and it helps every one of us stay consistent half to half. And I think we obviously got scored on early, but we knew we were still in the game, and we definitely fought for all 90 minutes plus.
And was there anything special that Coach said at halftime that gave you guys that spark to just go out and hit 3 goals in like 6 minutes?
Yeah, I think first we did something a little tactically different. We tried to match up their midfield, because obviously the Courage have a great midfield, and they have about 6 of them in there that just interchange, and it makes it difficult. And so, we know that if we match up, we're gonna most of the time win our one-on-one battles. And I think that, gave us confidence going in that, okay, now we're matched up with one person, make sure you win that battle. And I mean, obviously they're a good team, so there's times they won and they got a couple goals, but I think it made it easier for us to go into the second half and really know what our role is.
Well, congrats on the win, refresh on the break, and good luck the second half.
Thank you.
Theo, go ahead.
Hi, Nichelle. Knowing this was going to be your last game, did you have any kind of extra gas to give today?
Yeah, definitely. And also just, not being able to play in the last game, I just had a lot of fire in me and wanted to come out and definitely for the team, get stats and, play well for the team, but also going into the international break feeling sharp and, having a good performance. So yeah, that felt good.
Was there anything you said during the week, having sat out on the sidelines and maybe seeing the team a different way? Was there anything you kind of analyzed or felt like coming back in, you could kind of gain differently?
Yeah, I think obviously a big part of my game is, my speed and getting in behind. And so I think that was something that we needed in today's game. And, there wasn't a ton of opportunities that, we were getting in behind. There wasn't a lot of breakaway situations or balls getting in behind. But I think those couple times that it did, that I try to capitalize on that. And obviously that's kind of how my goals were scored. So just bringing kind of my individual identity and strength into the game was something I wanted to focus on.
It was a very chaotic game, that flurry of goals right at the beginning of the second half, but also really impressive coming back from that early goal from Denise. That can kill teams. What do you think was the most important thing for the win today? Was it that mentality, or was it kind of getting the quality when it was there?
Yeah, I think something that we're just learning to do is just fight for 90 minutes. And that was something maybe that was difficult for us last year. And although that was an early goal, there was so much time left in the game. And I never felt like we actually were playing badly. And so it wasn't one of those games where it's oh wow, this is gonna be a long game. I actually felt like we had like some momentum at times. They had momentum at times. And so it was just capitalizing on those moments that we did have momentum, and then really work hard defensively when maybe they were coming on us hard. So yeah, it was kind of an up and down game, but it was just important for us to like find that leadership on the field and, you know, talk and just get through those moments when it was difficult.
Is it really fun to play in games like this where there's a lot of goals?
Definitely. I mean, obviously I prefer less goals for them, but it's fun just to see how we battle. And, you know, obviously it's nice to get games where we score a lot and there's a shutout, but you know, these games build character because it was a tough game. It wasn't just a walk in the park. We had to fight for those 3 points. And so I think that's going to, you know, help our confidence later on in the season when we have to play hard teams, just knowing that we can get 3 points no matter who it is, just if we put in that work for 90 minutes.
Cheers. Thanks so much for your time, Nichelle. Congrats on the goal.
Thank you.
Lou, go ahead.
Hey, Nichelle, just talk a minute about Eddy getting the 2 goals and how, you know, a player that doesn't get a lot of accolades because she's not in the stat books a lot, how that lifted, you know, how that lifts the team.
Yeah, it was fun seeing her score 2 goals and just seeing her confident on the offensive end today. And yeah, that's another fun thing about the team is that we have people who can shine and who can score goals and do big things for this team. And we're not just relying on 1 or 2 players. It's everyone has to come out. And, you know, there's going to be days when there's 1 or 2 players that aren't, you know, having the best game, but it's how the rest of us lift each other up, and we use every one of us. So yeah, that was huge for us to, you know, get back into the game. Her just putting 2 goals in, I think, how many minutes was it? Like 3 or 4? That
Yep.
was really big for us. So yeah, I think players just need to keep finding confidence and know that like we need each and every one of us.
Thanks.
Robert, go ahead. You're muted, Robert.
Good. Okay, there we go. Sorry. What was the general aura of those 3 goals in that time, and then for North Carolina to come back and score 2 goals right after that of the team? What was the thoughts on the field?
Yeah, obviously when we scored like 3 goals, we were definitely on a high, and I don't know, when you go up 4-1, you kind of like you expect to win, and so I think we kind of had that feeling. Okay, we got this, but we're playing against North Carolina, who have players who have world-class players, and so I think us maybe, I don't know if we took our foot off the gas, but it was just like those little details maybe that we shut off for a second that they capitalize on. So I think, I mean, it was a learning opportunity for us that it doesn't matter what the score is. Like, this league is crazy and anyone can win at any day, and we have to make sure like that those small moments that we're still in the game. And so yeah, it got hectic after they scored 2 goals right after our 3, and we really had to fight for those last like 20 minutes to make sure that we won the game.
There are no more questions. We will give Nichelle back her time. Nichelle, thank you so much for joining us, and safe travels to international camp.
Thank you. Bye.
With Eddy. Elizabeth, congratulations on the win and the first career brace. Can you walk us through your thoughts on today's game, and then also what it was like scoring those 2 goals?
Can you hear me now? Great. It was a great team performance. I'd say we stuck to the game plan. We adjusted accordingly to what they were throwing at us, and we found a way to get the result. It was a bit messy, a bit wide open, probably too many goals against for my liking. But getting the offensive attack that we had and creating 4 goals as a team was awesome. And the 2 goals was just awesome. I would say just sticking to the game plan, being in the right spot at the right time, and like building a relationship with the people on the field that I play next to. And I think the more that happens, the more we'll be able to create really cool, fun goal scoring opportunities.
Yeah. And I guess how important was getting this win after last week's performance and heading into the international break?
After a loss, let alone where you get scored a lot of goals against, it's like really important to bounce back. And I'm really proud of the girls and the staff for finding a way to get that done. So it's super important. But again, like, we won and now it's over. We'll enjoy it for tonight and then get back to work and be ready for the next game, because it's a long season and we got to keep grinding.
Thank you for that. If there are any questions for Elizabeth, please use the raise your hand function. Theo, go ahead.
Hi, Elizabeth. Can you talk me through your second goal? Just that finish, like how you selected it, how you executed it. It was very good.
Thank you. I would say, I think I saw somebody find Maria and Maria turned and I pulled wide and I was like, oh, she slips me in between the back line. I get to go in either one touch or a slot it. And then the way that she played was perfect weight. The timing of the run was perfect. And I was able to I would say texture it right up and over Casey with me. Drop a little alley-oop over there.
And definitely even, in the first half, I know there wasn't as many goals, but it felt like you and Haley were really positioned quite aggressively today as wing backs. Was that something that was part of the game plan?
I don't really know how much of game plan I'm allowed to tell you, but we definitely executed it well. And a lot of it comes to ebb and flow in soccer. Like you guys know, it's a player's game. You can have a plan and you can stick to it or you can not, but then as long as the players on the same page, you'll do your job as well. And I'd say we do that.
I know you said you conceded too many goals for your liking. As a defender, is it fun to play in a game like this? Or are there times where you're sort of like, oh, I'm fed up?
I would say that I don't know. I don't always play defense on this team. I'm playing a lot of defense, but playing defense, getting scored on is awful and it's not fun. But at the end of the day, they do have some really dangerous attackers, especially individual attackers that are just create opportunities and be really dynamic. So we were able to find a way to get the result regardless of that was huge. And you're gonna get goals scored against, you're gonna score goals. And again, this game of soccer at the end of the day, if you can get one goal more than them by the end of the 90th minute, you win.
Congratulations on getting one more goal than them in the 90th minute. And congratulations on a great brace, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Robert, go ahead.
Hi, congratulations on the win. How would it feel to win this close to the international break, and what does it set up for the future of the season?
I would say getting this result was really good for the team, ending on a high after a very tumultuous first 6 weeks with the way our leadership and the staff and whatnot. I'd say everyone's come together and made the most of the really difficult situation, but ending with a win, and I think only one loss since the season started, is huge. So I'd say it's been it's a really good kind of mindset, belief in ourselves to go into a week and a half of a lot of training.
Thank you.
Lou, go ahead.
Hey, Elizabeth. Congrats on the 2 goals. What makes this team so consistent, game in and game out, whether you're home or away?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have played in this league for, I think, 7 years or so. And this team is, everyone's like, yeah, my team culture is great. Well, I would just say that this team culture, I would say, is a lot more honest and raw than most team cultures, where people are a lot more just true to who they are and themselves. And people are able to accept that and embrace and enjoy differences. And I think because of that, you're able to play better because you respect each other, because you're more honest. And I think that's really cool. Whereas other team cultures can be very group thinky, this team has less of that than more. And then I would just backing each other, backing ourselves. And again, I would honestly attribute the way that our staff has come together and our team has come together through this, having an assistant coach step up as an interim, and then the club looking for a new GM and head coach. That's a really big transition and a lot of question marks potentially in leadership, and the way that we've come together and respected change of command, bought into the process, worked together, and just found a way to get results is huge. So I'm really proud of all the girls and all the staff for getting that to happen.
And then talk about the impact, I guess, that Coach Lowdon and the staff have had, because you guys started out the beginning of the season with some turmoil, just a couple of days before the break, before the start, and here you are near the top of the table.
I would say it's just a huge testament to how Sarah, as well as the rest of staff, has chosen to one day at a time, fix the problems as they come. You can't live in the future, you can't live in the past, you gotta live in the moment, and they've all done that really well. And at the end of the day, if you can choose to be positive when there's a lot of other things to be negative about, it usually ends up going in your favor, and I say that's what's happened. And honestly, that's a lesson in life, not just sport.
Unmuted. All right. Good luck in the second half of the season.
Thank you.
If there are no more questions for Elizabeth, I'll let her get back to it. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and safe travels back to Houston.
I would just like to say that I'm really thankful for all the opportunity I've gotten, and all glory to God.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Peace out to you guys. I mean, before the game, we talked about our response was key tonight, and how the season, like I said before, isn't won and lost in one game, and we have to control our response, and that's something that we can control. We can't control a lot of things in this game, but we can control that. And so to come back and get a result away from home, a little bit closer than I would have liked, than we all would have liked probably, but yeah, I think it was 3 goals in 4 minutes to get Maria on the score sheet finally. It's great for her. Obviously, she played a little bit higher up the field there. To get Liz on the score sheet against her own team twice, and then Nichelle to finish it off. I'm just really proud of the team for the response and just the way they gritted it out till the end.
Thank you. What was your message at the half for the team going into the room?
Yeah, we just wanted to match their box. Their box was causing us some problems with their overload in midfield, so that was something that we had tried to do in the first half, and then we just kind of refined it a little bit at halftime. And again, picking it off in transition, we were dangerous, and they were dangerous also picking it off us in transition. And it was just eliminating the entry balls that, in central midfield that weren't getting there. That was killing us at times. And then again, just square passes, whether that was out wide, whether that was centrally. And then just composure. I thought there were some spells where it was our best composure of the season on the ball. And then there were spells where we were kind of a little bit ragged. So it was just cleaning that up and giving them a bit of confidence. And again, I think we just kind of changed something like a little bit tactically out wide with our wing backs dropping down, trying to attract their fullbacks to bait them in, and then trying to find a ball on the channel. So those were kind of the key messages at halftime.
Yeah, kind of on the note of wing backs, can you talk us a little bit about Elizabeth Eddy's performance?
Yeah, I'm just really happy for Liz. Obviously, she didn't feature against Portland, which, I actually called her after the game. I talked to her after the game and called her after the game, and I thought that was a little bit unfair on her, to be honest. It wasn't intentional by any stretch, but it was just we wanted to go with something else in terms of personnel, and she was definitely in the plan for Portland. It didn't work out, and so I'm just really proud of her. I just told her on the sideline there, I'm like, look, you just shoved it in our faces as coaches, and that's what we want you to do. So well done, and kudos to her, and just so excited for her, and she's super pumped. I'm sure you've already spoke to her, so yeah.
Awesome. Theo, you can go ahead now.
Hi, Sarah. First off, I was just asking the others, is it fun to be in a game like that? Like, that's just so chaotic.
I think when you're an assistant, perhaps. But I think my perspective being in this seat over the last maybe however games it's been, it's fun for sure at the end of it. It's a challenge, right? It makes all those late nights and all the extra work worth it. Just cramming in as much as we can. And again, I'm just so proud of the players, like the way they've handled the adversity over the last 7, 8 weeks. It's kudos to them. I think a lot of teams would have been written off, and they've been brilliant, and they've done everything we've asked and more. And I'm just really excited for them to get this physical and mental rest over the next few days, for the most part. And then we wish our international players the best moving forward in the break for them.
You mentioned it a little bit. Obviously, great to finally see Maria get a goal. The performance, obviously, her performance levels have been very high, but just kind of getting that final, getting over the line. What do you think was the key to that happening today rather than some of the other weeks?
Yeah, again, I think she's obviously playing higher up the field, and we kind of give her a free role offensively, and then defensively, obviously, it changed a little bit today in terms of North Carolina's shape than maybe it did against Angel City. But again, she played in several different positions there. She played as obviously up front, then she got stuck out wide when we switched to 4-2-3-1, and then she got stuck as the 10. And so again, just her versatility to step into those positions and do it with such class and keep the ball for us. And again, just a little bit of magic that she's always creates in every game, and then just to get the final finish for her, I'm so proud of her. It just gives her some confidence going into camp.
North Carolina Courage have never lost a game in the NWSL where they've scored 3 goals before. What does it mean to you to be the first person to beat them in kind of a shootout, so to speak? Yeah,
again, I'm just so proud of the team. Again, like I said, I think it's just it's a little surreal, and I think there's times where it's interesting because I've just tried to stay in process, and I think I've touched on this before, and the approach is the destination, and we're never finished, right? And so I always want more, and I think that's just part of being a high achiever, perhaps, and we're all high achievers in this environment. But there's just times where I think, do I really deserve this? And then the moment just kind of gets a little bit bigger than you. But again, I just try to stay in process. And again, I think when we were unbeaten in 6, I had no idea. And, I got a tap on the shoulder from Angel, telling me we're unbeaten in 6. And I'm like, really? So again, that just shows that, we're all just trying to stay in process here. But again, just
really happy for the team, really proud for them. I think, again, I'm just really excited for them. And like we said, we're really excited to welcome Juan in this next phase. And I just FaceTimed him actually after the game so we could be a part of it. But yeah, we're just really excited for the next transition.
Well, I won't remind you of any more records now I know that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Last question, just what are you looking forward to most in the break?
Yeah, my parents just flew in from England. They actually landed as we took off on the way to North Carolina. So I didn't even get to see them. I was trying to like scoot through the airport perhaps and go find them, but it didn't work out. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just excited to spend some time with them. They've stayed up and watched every single game. And the Angel City game was tough because it was like the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. But I'm just excited to get some time with them, get a mental break. And again, I think I'm excited for the players and the staff to also get a break. I think everybody needs this, just a little reset, and we're in a great spot.
Congratulations on a great result today, Sarah, and hopefully speak to you sometime in the future.
Thanks, Theo.
Still unbeaten on the road, by the way, Sarah. Lou, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on the win. What is it about this team that makes them so consistent week in, week out, home or away?
I think, again, it's just the resiliency, and that's something we talked about. And I think we have a group here that, they understand that things are going to hit the fan, and the nicest way to put it. And they understand that, there is some suffering in this game, and you have to weather the storms. And they grit in, and they buy in, and they buy in and they fight together. And I think that's part of it. It's just being blue collar, being resilient. Again, I think something that we've tried to remind them is just to have selectional attention of like what you can control. And that's something that we've been working on. It's a work in process, but again, like just controlling what you can control. And again, they just play for each other. And when you've got a group like that, it's again, there's no ceiling. We shouldn't put a fictitious ceiling on this team. I think they're a great group. They're a solid group on and off the field to work with. They're a joy to work with. I really enjoy working with them, and I'm super excited for the future and pushing for playoffs with them.
And you probably don't think about this, but what personal satisfaction do you take, and just from the fact that you've taken this team over a couple of days before the start of the season, and they're sitting in the best position they've ever sat in at the break?
Yeah, again, I think it's really hard to when you're in it. It's really hard to like zoom out and get some perspective. I mean, I'm 7-8 weeks as an experienced acting head coach, and I think it's really hard. Like I've had to have, I've got a lot of great people around me outside of this who kind of get me to zoom out and kind of see the perspective of kind of the bigger picture, if you like. And I think it's just maybe I'll look back on this, and I don't even know when I'll have time to look back on this. Hopefully, some point, and just understand, like, you've got to have some perspective in this. And but yeah, I mean, just it's kind of a little bit surreal, like I said, and I'm just really proud of the group and proud of the staff. Everybody has been unbelievable, and that makes my job way easier.
Well, thanks for a great start, and looks like the fans will have a lot to look forward to in the second half.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Sarah, and safe travels back to Houston.
Thank you.